Hi everyone, my name is Ben Wright, Human Cartoonist Extraordinaire, and welcome to the wrap-up stream for Wadanohara and the Great Blue Sea. This is the first recording Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. I am once again joined by the amazing Kelsey D Comics and Kokomomo Art. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Guys, we made it. We did it.
We made it. We made it.
Yes, we finished the game.
We did. Hooray!
Hooray!
And there was much rejoicing.
That's exactly what I was about to say. How dare you? Before we get into it too much, I do want to do a quick shout out to Starchu, whose YouTube channel is giving us this amazing music for Wadanohara and the Great Blue Sea. And periodically you'll be seeing the name of whatever the song is in the lower right-hand corner when it doesn't decide to randomly disappear because internet's being a butt. But I'm also dropping a link to this particular video in the chat right now, and it'll be available in the description of the YouTube replay of this.
Thank you, Starchu. Doing the
Yes.
Lord's work.
Exactly. So before we get into the tier list proper, we should probably start talking about the actual game itself, since we're putting characters on the list, not the game.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Do we want to do that
Chloe,
first?
what do you think of this game?
I think you guys should go first.
Let the newbie go first. Ben, thoughts
Yes.
on this game?
All right, that's fair. I really enjoyed this whole process. I'm a sucker for indie RPGs, but I mostly know them from just the straight up horror side of things. So having one that was a little bit more of a, almost felt, I wanted to call it like a traditional RPG style almost, but it's really not. It felt like but it's more of a fantasy story than it is a horror story, despite the definite horror elements.
Oh, yeah. You said it's like a fantasy, and immediately it made me think of how, you're going to hear me make this comparison a lot tonight. It made me think of how in Okami, you have that first layer of the game where you're dealing with one very specific enemy, but then it turns out, oh, they weren't the true enemy. This is the true enemy, and that's when shit gets real. And that's very classic to Japanese RPGs.
It's why I was very much expecting there to be like an actual like Lovecraftian horror at the very end of all this, and the closest we had was Sal.
Although the description of Japanese RPGs being like, oh yes, this is implied to be the bad guy the whole time, and then twist, it's actually this guy, explains a lot of Zelda Twilight Princess to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the big things with the storytelling of this, because I actually did have some problems with how the story was told, just because parts of it were very
I have notes.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because it wasn't until literally we were going through the bonus content that Chloe said a couple things, like giving some backstory stuff, and it made something click with me.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
This is not a game that's part of a series necessarily, but this was not the first work set in this world, and a lot of the stuff was Easter eggs that I just didn't get.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, it's one of you were going into the backstory for Klomaki. It came up that Orca was actually the bad guy in Ice Cream and things like that. And it started making me go, well, this actually explains a lot of stuff. Because one of my problems was that Orca made no sense in the story. Like, why did he just randomly show up? Klomaki felt like there was a lot going on, but we were given so little of it that it was hard to figure out. They're cameos. They're cameos in a larger world, which is why I was getting confused.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Which lets me give some of the writing a lot more of a pass because there was context that I was missing. I jumped in the middle. I picked up a random floppy for a superhero comic that had been going on for 30 years.
That's actually a pretty apt description.
Yeah.
You got into
hadn't
JoJo.
really thought of it that way. Sorry, Chloe, I was talking over you. What?
No, you're good. I was just going to say he got into JoJo, but instead of starting with the original JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, he started with Stone Ocean.
Oh, yeah, that would be confusing AF.
What's funny is I've watched one JoJo series, and it's the one that starts with, I think it's the grandson. So technically I did start JoJo in the middle.
Now, see, as a Dragon Ball Z fan, I am used to jumping into things in the middle and then having to like parse things out as I go along, and then retroactively starting at the beginning and going from there. So like that part doesn't necessarily bother me. But I feel like there are other notes.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't have bothered me if I'd known that's what I was getting into. That's where I got thrown, because I went into it like, okay, this is a complete, fully contained story.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it kind of is.
Yeah, to a degree it is, but like they had certain outside things ended up being surprisingly big, and that I feel like I give them a little bit more of a pass than I originally would have on the writing, because that was the case, and I just was going in with the wrong expectation.
That's fair.
Yeah. Despite that, you also have thoughts about the writing. What you got?
So, this is in that vein of like, as a Dragon Ball Z fan, I'm used to jumping in and having to parse things out. The other thing as a Dragon Ball Z fan is that I am used to the story being like, oh, what you see is what you get. Any bonus material that exists to like maybe help with the world building a little bit, but like there's only one egregious example that I can think of where there was like a major character motivation that was left in bonus material that made me go, man, that would have actually made the main canon a lot more interesting if it was in there. And unfortunately, Wadanohara has a lot of that, where it's like, oh man, this is like relegated to the bonus material, but man, it would have made the story slap a lot differently if this was like in the canon of the story. Now, to my understanding, Nier Automata has the same sort of problem, but this seems, I don't know if I would relegate this to like entirely a Japanese RPG issue, but this is something that I found a problem with me with Wadanohara is that like, some of this like extra lore stuff would have been really cool to have in the main game, and the fact that it's like relegated to bonus material is like, but this explains character motivation, and you kind of need that for a cohesive story.
There is one important part to that I think should be brought up. I'm not sure this is the case. In fact, I'm leaning that it's probably not. But there's also the possibility that stuff could have been lost in translation. Like,
Maybe.
No knock to VG person who did the English language translation to this, but it's one of the things you always have to look out for anything in translation. It's entirely possible that like maybe some of this was explained more and it just somehow got cut.
Maybe.
Chloe, how do you feel about us complaining about this?
No, I think all of these critiques are actually very valid. The thing for me, so one thing you hear specifically from me all night tonight is specifically with the story. It's a little complicated. So as someone who's been in the fandom, I think I joined the fandom roughly a year into its existence. Okay. So it was still pretty fresh. So I 100% agree with Ben's assessment that like if you had not followed the creator's works prior, some of this stuff would be like, oh, who's this character? Oh, who's this character? What character is this person talking about? And the interesting thing for me was the more I dug into the creator's other works, the more I started thinking that. I'm like, oh, that makes stuff in Wadanohara make more sense.
Yes.
But before I knew that they had developed other games, I was just kind of like, oh, I can treat this as a standalone thing. Regarding the bonus content, within the main game, like within original classic 2013 release, I 100% agree. I wish that some of the scenes could have been incorporated into the game proper. Yeah. I don't know if you could have done it via flashback or just taken more time to develop certain points. But that leads me to another point that I'll bring up as we get into the tier list. But the interesting thing for me is seeing the evolution of the story go from 2013 release to the manga release, which happened... God, when did that happen? I think that came 2 years later. But the
I was
release
about to say pre-pandemic.
Yeah, definitely pre-pandemic. But seeing the release of the manga and seeing the way that the story both changed and also evolved, certain characters that were very flat gained a lot more depth in the manga. And seeing how the changes in the manga translated into this most recent version of the game, which is not the version we played, but the version that includes additional bonus content. It's interesting. It's interesting because it seems like it's an ever-evolving story that's updating as the writer grows as an artist and as a game designer. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get the impression that RPG Maker games, whenever they do like major updates to their games, it's usually to story material.
It can depend. Sometimes it's just to improve the aesthetics. If you look at classic games like Eve and Forest of Drizzling Rain, a lot of the classic RPG Maker games, they're very charming, but they are rough, both in terms of game design and the limitations of the art. The newer games, both Eve and Forest of Drizzling Rain, got major Steam updates, and the art, like, it looks phenomenal. Like, it looks like a proper, like, platinum pixel game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But in some cases, it can be the story. I do know that one of the issues with Forest of Drizzling Rain, I do not think that was translated by VG Person. The translation for that was extremely rough.
Oh, gotcha.
And I got a new one, and it's all nice and shiny.
It's really funny because a big part of what got me to want to start streaming was watching Markiplier play through RPG horror games, including Eve. And when getting ready for Wadanohara and looking at VG Person's site, I realized a huge portion of those games were translated by VG Person.
Yep.
Like, I had no idea. I've even streamed a couple of their games.
Yeah.
We were doing a while back, I did both the Crooked Man and the Sandman from the Strange Men anthology.
Oh my god, I love those games.
I'm thinking, like, so one of the other things I've been thinking about doing with the channel is potentially going back to some of the games I previously streamed, but I never ended up uploading to YouTube because, honestly, a lot of them are a mess. And doing them again because I now have you guys and I can just introduce you to these awesome games.
I'm not opposed.
Yeah. But honestly, the Strange Man anthology is very high for me on that. Because the Crooked Man, I love. I think that's a fantastic game.
Yes. Yeah. Crooked Man was the first... Well, no. When did I... Yes. Crooked Man was the first RPG Maker game to make me cry.
I believe it.
Straight up sobbed. Straight up sobbed.
Have you seen The Sandman?
Yes, I have seen The Sandman.
Okay, so you know it's not the same game.
Okay.
All right.
I actually have a note about the game design of Wadanohara.
Yes.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yes.
Yeah, so it did strike me that for a game like Wadanohara, it is 90% cutscenes and walking from cutscene to cutscene. And, like, maybe there are, like, yeah, sure, there are boss encounters, but there's not any significant, like, battles in between the cutscenes and the boss battles. Like, there's no narrative progression that's worked in with the combat. It's just like, oh, this is the moment where a combat scene usually happens. Therefore, combat with this boss.
Yeah, a part of that is that at the recommendation of people who were watching, I pretty much stopped with the random encounter stuff because, I mean, it was pretty boring just to watch me do the same fight over and over again.
I get that, but that's also, I don't know if it's just how the game was designed or if it's an RPG Maker issue or what it is, but, you know, combats could be more interesting in this game.
Yes.
Definitely. That was one of the things that was fixed in the reboot, right?
They added a bit more of a difficulty spike. The other thing that happens in the reboot with the battles is boss battles specifically. You from every boss you fight, you gain a trinket. and a note pertaining to that boss battle. So like, for example, since I see him right away, Samikichi, his first boss battle, the trinket you get is his necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the notes that come with the victories are just added. Again, it's added lore. Like, oh, there was, here's a little bit more into this character. Nothing too spoilery. But as the game progresses, it's like it adds more pieces to the puzzle.
That reminds me, I had a question about that. You're talking about like the anchor necklace, right?
Yes.
Is that a thing that all the familiars got from Wada as part of being a familiar? Like, is that part of their pact? To
yes,
use
every
warlock terms.
They all have an anchor motif in their design. So Samikichi has the necklace, which was a gift from Wadanohara. They explore that in the manga. Mm-hmm. Fukami has the emblem on his tie. He got a little anchor. Memoka has the icon on her hat, and Dolphy has, I believe she has the icon on her dress somewhere, maybe on a pocket.
I love that Wada gave
buttons.
Samikichi an anchor and then became the old ball and chain.
That was her subtle way of being like, I ain't never gonna let you go.
I'm never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
And per the bonus content cutscene, what is up with this girl?
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
That brings up something important. We did, in between finishing the last stream and tonight's stream, watch through some videos by ManlyBadassHero that actually showed us some of the bonus content that's in the Reboot, which covers a lot of extra story stuff. I am dropping those links in the chat right now, and they will be available on the YouTube replay in the description. Thank you to ManlyBadassHero for that extra information.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Manly.
Yeah, there's so much backstory stuff that got added in there.
Yes.
I will say, like, when we're getting ready to get into the actual tier making part of the tier maker episode, but one of the things that is going to happen, we're going to kind of be averaging out our opinions on characters and try to find a place in the middle, and we all probably have different criteria. I'm going to be basing my criteria primarily on what we saw in the actual stream. Just because I feel, to me, that's what the people who are potentially watching this are going to have the most common exposure to. So we got some very interesting information about some of the characters. It's going to affect my opinion some, but I'm going to try to mitigate that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Because not only did I play the original game, I watched, coverage of the reboot, and I've read the manga from start to finish. So kind of like you were saying, like that's definitely influencing my opinion a little bit. And of course, I have to completely discard my own personal headcanons and things that I've written in, private fanfic. So yeah, I'm going to try and lean more towards the classic game that was reflected on stream.
Yeah. And I'm over here with the perspective of very familiar with the base game, only just became familiar with the bonus stuff within the last, 2 weeks. So I feel like I can fairly freshly differentiate between, what's in the base game and what's bonus material.
God bless you.
Also, for the record, have not read the manga yet.
I have not read the manga either.
Who?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, but man, so actually this brings up another critique that I have of the classic game.
Okay.
So interestingly enough, one of the things that the manga made me appreciate more about the game is certain characters have so much more agency through the lens of a video game and being a player character. Yeah. The manga nerfs a bunch of the stuff in game that makes you more attached to the characters. It eliminates a lot of going from point A to point B. Yeah. And actually, so I was thinking about this because my one big critique, actual solid note of hey, please, in future games try to avoid this. Too many damn ellipses.
Yes.
But that got me thinking, what if this game played like a proper visual novel instead of a classic RPG game? Like, would that change your guys' opinion of it?
I think it would work better as a visual novel, but I haven't played too many visual novel games to like say. But considering my critiques of it as a game, this would work better as a visual novel.
I 100% agree. This makes more sense as a visual novel, and a lot of that comes down to the technology you're familiar with. Because like I'm working with a friend to potentially make to convert one of my comics into a horror RPG is what I was originally working on doing. And after looking at the project, that friend was basically like, this would work better as a visual novel and I have Renpai, so let's do that.
Ooh.
And they were right.
Nice.
I'm being a little vague because I don't know if we can talk about this project yet. But yeah, it was just what. By the way, if you ever want to make a visual novel, Renpai's awesome.
Oh,
highly recommend.
I've heard of this. Yeah. I am going to make a note of that though, because I've had the thought of maybe making a visual novel at some point. So
I'll put it on the screen for the replay. There you go. So let's go ahead and get into the actual tier list part. And appropriately, I actually had it ordered with when we saw the outfits, but I'm going to jump a little bit and do the classic Wadanohara.
Wait. We got to explain the tiers first.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Go for it. Yeah, you picked them.
All right. Well, to clarify, I just gave them funny names. But basically, what we have done is we've added some context to the categories. So, starting from the top, S tier, this gets a big ol' octo kiss. These are...
kiss.
Mwah. These are the characters that we have little to no notes on. As is, they are fantastic. They carry the game. We've gotten emotionally attached to them. 10 out of 10, best characters in the game. And they add to the experience. A, Golden Starfruit. These are excellent characters. Probably like a 9 out of 10. Between 8 and 9 out of 10. Very good, very solid. Just not enough to get up into S rank. B, Problematic Faves. This title is vaguely misleading. I borrowed it from another YouTuber. Basically, these are the characters that some people would be like, I like them, but I'm afraid to say so. No, we ain't doing that shit. If you like them, say it with your chest. That was me smacking my chest really hard. See the Vision. That's basically like 7 out of 10. There are things we like about the characters. Maybe they have a cool design. Maybe they have some interesting elements to them, but they're just not quite there yet.
Yeah, but you see the vision of what they could be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. D tier, Wada Forget. Basically, these characters, they're fun, they may have a cool design, but plot-wise, lore-wise, they may not add much to the story. I hesitate to say filler, because each of these characters fulfills a important role in the story, but let's just say that, like, the role wasn't as polished as it could have been. Maybe they also suffer from context that was explained in the bonus content, or maybe they're just kind of flat, but that's what our D tier is. And finally, F for finally, we have, I originally called it the Nah Bro tier, but Ben suggested Wadanohara. Pretty self-explanatory. Trash tier.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. So, starting off, the main design we have of Wada throughout the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off by just dropping these roughly at B tier while we figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's more in the center of the screen.
Good starting point. Problematic fate! Oh, boy. Oh, so to explain how this tier is going to work, or how this list is going to work, we're each going to give our own opinions, and between the three of us, we'll average out where each character will go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, basically blue outfit Wada throughout the most of the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, boy, okay. I know that she is the title character. I know that she is the main POV. I'm going to need a minute to articulate this, so I will let both of you go first.
All right, Ben, you go first.
All right. I'm going to start talking about Wada as a character in general.
Okay.
So, Chloe, you introduced me to a concept a while back called hope punk.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That basically describes Wada.
Kinda. I would almost say that Wada is hope punk bordering into and sometimes just tipping outright into dumbass naivete. And it's a question of whether that is charming or like purposefully bad just to try to like progress the story. Cause like you sound like you have some thoughts.
No, I get what you mean. I do like that there is a degree to which she's naive, but there's also something to characters that try to find the best in absolutely everyone, even when it's not there. And the fact that you keep trying to find that, it's why we like Vash the Stampede in a lot of ways. Like,
I mean, yeah. I feel like the big difference, though, between Wadanohara and Vash the Stampede is that Vash has the experience of having traveled the world and seen stuff face to face, and he still holds on to hope. Wada is just young and inexperienced in a way that's like, it makes me wonder where her basis for hope comes from.
Right.
Like, does it come from actually genuinely believing that people are good, or does it just come from her being wildly inexperienced?
The other thing that I consider too with Wadanohara is, I tend to lean. I personally would not categorize her as naive and like the quote unquote like the dumbass way. I see it as naive in both. She has lived an extremely sheltered life. The ocean is all she has known. Like prior to going to the Kingdom of Witches, she did not see the outside of the sea. But also, and this was something that I've thought a lot about, especially after getting involved in the Promare fandom. Gallo gets called a dumbass a lot because he's very, he's kind of, there was actually this really interesting essay comparing Gala to a classic Disney princess, in that he believes in the good in everybody, and people misconstrue that as in the most positive way, being naive, and in the worst way, being stupid. And that made me think a lot, because I feel like with Wadanohara specifically, like, sometimes the writing can make it seem like, oh my god, like, get a clue. But I think it's just, I don't think it's meant to be that way. I think it's supposed to be just like, she's young. And the other thing that I thought of, and this is entirely headcanon, so I'm not going to factor this too much into my opinion. I'm almost wondering if she feels like she has to be a certain way because that's what people expect her to be.
That actually
like, she has to.
There is certainly a lot of the girl trying to put on a positive face because that's what she thinks people expect of her. There is definitely a lot of like, oh, I have to pretend that everything's fine and everything's all put together and that nothing is wrong. And that I think does kind of redeem her in a way that's like, oh, this isn't just a two-dimensional, like, sheltered, naive girl who suddenly has magical powers. It's like, oh no, there's this girl who is sheltered and is put under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That actually leads into one of the things I find really interesting about Wada as a character. So much of this story is about duty and self-sacrifice over personal desire. Like, that's, in many ways, it's literally what a lot of this is about. Like, I was talking to Chloe about this after I watched all the stuff. The entire point of the Sea of Death is jealousy. Every single character is crazy jealous and interested in their own wants and desires. And expectations put on Wada are based entirely on duty and self-sacrifice. And part of the reason she's putting on this brave front is that she's told, okay, you're the only witch in this particular sea, and it's your job to maintain everything, or it's all going to break and go awful.
Not to mention the pressure of succession, being the daughter of the guy who literally sacrificed his life to save the entire kingdom. And that left a massive hole. And that kind of caters into this notion of selfishness versus selflessness and the pros and cons to both. Because yes, sacrifice and selflessness saved the ocean multiple times, but it also hurt the people left behind in ways, some characters can't even quantify.
I'm also realizing something looking at her design, that this might be me overthinking things, but one of the things that's kind of cool about this outfit in particular, like the main one we see her in most of the game, is the fact that it has elements of both red and blue striping in it. Kind of reflecting the two other paths she could have potentially ended up on. Like at this point, she has both potentials in her.
That makes some sense.
I'm going to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and do a call for, on this particular design and for the main version of the character we see through most of the game, what are our ratings?
I'm leaning towards A, personally.
Yeah, I could accept A. Like, A.
I was thinking A too, so we're good.
Yeah. Golden star.
All right.
Yeah.
Going back for a second, we've got the original version, the sailor suit outfit. I feel like we're not going to have a big character change here, because she changes outfits so early. But this also reflects her past in the flashbacks and things like that.
Yeah. She's just a wee little bean.
Yeah.
It is interesting because I did notice, especially in this playthrough, she in the flashbacks, she is definitely a bit more outgoing.
She is.
Yeah, she has there's a couple of scenes where she's gently teasing Samakichi. There's scenes where she's going out of her way to be helpful. She's going out of her way to get out of her comfort zone. And that's not quite, I mean, it's there in her classic Sea Witch outfit, but the version that we were with in most of the game has been heavily tempered by the events that have unfolded.
Yeah. So the sailor suit Wada is pre shit starting to go down.
Yep. And it has all the cute stuff that happens with Samakichi in flashbacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the little icon of little Chibi Wada sitting on top of Shark Samakichi. And just her little beans for feet just poking out as she's just boop.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Yes. That epitomizes Sailor Suit Wada. Is just, oh my gosh, you're so cute. I want to pinch your stupid little cheeks.
Yep. It gives massive cute aggression. I need to protect her.
So where do you guys put that design and that version of the character in the ranking?
Somewhere between A and B for me.
I put her probably behind classic Wada. Yeah, and we'll probably shuffle around as we go, but for now, I think she's fine going behind high A rank. What do you think, Ben?
I'm good with high A rank. Are we actually ordering this by, what's number one?
I always consider the character closest to the tier itself with the label. That's the top of the category.
Gotcha. Okay, I can work with that.
Okay.
Next up, we have the one that most players in our playthrough did not see.
Oh, yeah.
Because this comes from Normal End 1, which we skipped. I'm going to
we skipped
preemptively
streaming
drop it here for reasons.
Yes.
Oh boy. All right. Well, you guys go first. So for all of these, I want you guys to give your opinions first, and then I'll weigh in.
So here's my problem. There's a lot about this version of the character that is awful. I also really like this design.
Yeah, this, for lack of a better word, this design fucks.
Yeah. Okay. So
in more ways than one, according to the
character bios, which, that's my major critique of this, because as a assault survivor, that kind of a character turnaround does not happen within like a 12-hour span like that.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so like her sudden characterization of like, oh, I'm cutesy and innocent, to suddenly being like, yeah, give me all the porn, is like, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Don't know why the author of this game thought that way. Not okay. Don't like how this character was treated in ending 1. So like, I'm definitely of the like D tier for this one.
Okay.
D tier or F tier?
I mostly D, but leaning towards F.
That's entirely fair. Do we mind, just because most of the people didn't see it, if I go ahead and drop the artwork of the full outfit on the stream?
Yeah, you can show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, the character design for this is very classic Gothic Lolita right here.
And, like, I like the eyes. I like the horror twist to it all.
Yeah.
Like, that aspect of it I do enjoy. But from the sound of it, it sounds like we're moving down the tiers, which I'm also okay with.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to keep it at D just because for the design, but if we have strong feelings, I'm willing to go down to F.
Yeah. I have very strong feelings, but that's me.
Let's do it.
I am of the same mindset. Like, character design notwithstanding, it is interesting that... So in the game proper, not the endings, I think this design could have worked... This concept could have worked if you had played with the notion of... for lack of a better comparison, you know how sometimes in anime, you'll have, like, especially with shoujo anime, you'll have that plot where, like, a character gets corrupted and the power of love brings them out of their corruption?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the scene where Mikotsu curses her and she's trapped in her dream, like, that turns into a hellscape, that was kind of giving that if she had stayed stuck in that dream, this is what she would have become. And I would have preferred that to what we got.
Yeah.
Because what we got, and this was something that I was talking with Ben a little bit about, when you're dealing with sensitive subject matter, it is important to distinguish, like, the place that you are coming from when you are writing it.
Yeah.
If it's coming from a genuine place of wanting to explore that subject matter in a way that doesn't condone it, but examines what it does to people, but also allows them the opportunity to heal from it, that can work in the hands of good writers.
Yes.
That being said, this feels very shock value-y to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
The entire first normal ending feels extremely steeped in shock value, and that definitely ruins the experience. And especially because that is the first ending that you are forced to sit through.
That's
you
what
have
got...
no choice.
After we played it, that's what ended up sitting with me the most. Because one thing I'll admit also is when we went through that ending, because we did it, for anyone who is not fully caught up on the streams, we did that separately. We didn't actually stream it. We recorded it, and we didn't do voiceover.
Right.
And I was surprised because that actually hit me less than the scene we did voiceover. Because, like, that was a lot to play. Like, that was really tough. We're going to get into that more when we talk about Sal. But,
yes.
It's funny because I was sitting with it afterwards, like, with the normal end 1 and being like, the thing that bothers me the most is that we're forced to see this. Which is, on top of everything, just bad. But yeah.
Yes. It also tracks for because this game came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Yes.
This honestly tracks for early 2010s YouTube culture. Is that and especially late 2000s into early 2010s YouTube culture and online culture is oh yeah, this is so cutesy, artsy fartsy, shock value horror, and that was kind of a trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they call it? Bully the Bunny?
Wait, there's a name for that phenomenon?
Yeah, well, it's either Break the Cutie or Bully the Bunny.
Okay.
I believe it.
Yeah. I believe it.
All
But
right.
it was frequent enough that the trope has a name. So
Yeah.
I imagine we'll be coming back to this with when we get to Sal, so let's go ahead and move on to the Blue Sea Witch design.
Yes. So this is the design that we see at the end of Normal End 2. Which
Yeah.
I had mentioned I mentioned this during our stream. Each of these versions of Wadanohara represents one of the things that Mekai wanted her to avoid in life. So the Red Sea ending, that aligns with the line, let nothing stain you. Blue Sea ending, let nothing take you away.
yeah.
Yeah.
The this particular design strikes me as that character of talking about the themes of self-sacrifice and duty and everything. This seems like the extreme of that, where it's I have to sacrifice myself for the good of the sea, even if that means leaving behind the people that I love, and then turns out maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of this particular ending was about her becoming what she was always expected to be, which is the next version of her father. And she gets an
Yes.
outfit that looks like her dad's.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, very much in both normal endings, she does not become a version of herself. She becomes a version of somebody else that someone else wanted her to be. So normal ending 1, she turned into the person that Sal wanted her to be. Normal ending 2, the one we're looking at right now, it almost feels like that's the version that almost everyone else wanted her to be. But it was not what she wanted for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like the Madonna /
The Madonna horror complex.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was just Madonna Horror Complex or if they gave the horror a name, but
Yeah, no, it's Madonna horror.
yeah. Because Sal had a vision of her, he wanted her to be a certain thing. The Sea Kingdom wants her to be a certain thing. Samakichi was the only one who saw her as a person.
Yeah. But that's still, even if it's Samakichi's the only one who saw her as a person, that's still somebody else's lens on Wadanohara.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just from character growth, or from the angle of character development, I can see the vision. She's somewhere between a B and a C for me, because the actual outfit design is very cute, but it is this is Mekai light.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Mekai at home.
Yeah, we have Mekai at home.
I do like this one has her mom in the hat.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's
it's
true.
a family reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Kelsey. I would put this version of Wada in a high, as of now, high C tier.
I was leaning
Yeah.
B, so I think I'm slightly outvoted. I'm good with high C.
Yeah, I'm good with high C. And if she gets bumped up into B because the C tier gets overloaded, that's fine.
Cool.
Yeah. We can adapt.
All right. And now, the Navy Endgame true ending version that only losers cosplay.
S tier, no
Yes.
conversation
Yes.
needed. She's
Yes.
going up there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my girl.
Yes.
Ah.
I think the cosplay part went completely under the radar. Okay.
I was talking over you, so I missed it.
Fair. I said the Navy version that only losers cosplay.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Oh no. She's quiet.
No, wait,
I feel
what?
bad.
No, you actually cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
Okay. I got scared. I got scared that the joke didn't work.
No, you're good. You're good.
Ben said that's the one that only losers play.
Losers cosplay. Yeah.
Losers cosplay.
Let me tell you though, I kind of played myself with that cosplay because I had to make 2 versions of the hat. Because the first version, the chains I got were so damn heavy, it was actually giving me neck strain.
Oh no.
So I had to go and like get lighter chain that still achieved the same look. And lesson learned.
Real cosplay problems.
Cosplay smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Never skip neck day.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Ben, what are your thoughts about True Ending Wada?
I do like that you see she's definitely grown, she's definitely matured, but you still see Wada in there.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, overall, I'm less of a fan of this outfit than the one we see most of the game. I think the darker palette doesn't work as well. But character-wise, she's gone to an interesting place at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. And it does feel like she's like, okay, I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
I'm a witch with my own power.
Mm-hmm. I'm a witch with my own power, and I own it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see where the outfit it would be kind of washed out because it is such a dark palette, but honestly, I really like that. It also feels like the palette counterbalance to Sal's pure white.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting point. I like that.
Building off of that, there's 3 ways that I also take this outfit. Depending on... So she's not only the color contrast to Sal, like complete contrast, she's also more aligned with Samikichi's color palette, especially his True Ending color palette.
That's true.
And the dark colors also kind of evoke the sense of... They could almost be seen as morning clothes because they're very dark. But because it's not completely black, it's the color of the ocean. And she said that she was going to remain in that sea until Samikichi came back. So,
she was basically Brandy from the song Brandy.
Yeah, kind of. The interesting thing, too, is that I didn't notice this until I was dissecting the Design 2 cosplay. The underside of her hat and her cape are stars.
Cute!
Oh, that's cool.
Specifically, the night sky. And what happens in all the scenes under a night sky, those are the moments she is closest to Samikichi. There was silence, and I was just like, there's either going to be like a, oh, or there's going to be like a, yo!
That is the correct response. I'm actually trying to see if we can find... There it is.
Cute aggression, which describes Wada completely.
Yes. Cute aggression. Just want to cuddle it.
Yeah. Something I wanted to bring up real quick. Because this is another view of the same art.
Yes.
I like that the anchors changed.
Ooh, yeah.
It's a little detail a lot of people miss. At first I was like, oh, they became fish hooks. Like, nope, that's a type of anchor.
Yeah, that is a type of anchor.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't really put that together, but yeah.
It also has 4 prongs, like her familiars.
I'm also realizing one of the cool things about this outfit is she's completely gotten rid of red.
She has. Yeah, there's like no red in there whatsoever. It's all blue.
Except her cheeks, which for some reason they decided the blush this time was red and not yellow, which I always thought was weird.
Well, I'm reading the blushes like pink. So.
Yeah. All right. Moving right along.
Yes.
I'll put him in F. It's fine.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
How to guarantee they'll never stream with me again? I have him up here so we can see him. He's not actually in problematic faves for me.
Yeah. I don't think I would put him in B tier at all.
Oh yeah, no. I imagine he's going to be going higher. But
yeah, yes, yeah. But absolutely. I want to hear some of the discussion from y'all first before I voice anything.
I mean,
I'm gonna hold my notes until you guys go.
I mean, Samakichi was great. Honestly, I like just about everything about him. He's probably my favorite character.
I was about to say, you were the guy who we were like playing this through, and we didn't even get to like the big character reveals yet, and you were like, I think Samakichi's secretly the good guy, and yeah.
Okay, I can't take any real credit for that, because it was so obvious.
Yeah, narratively, yeah, it was pretty obvious. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, no, Samakichi's secretly the good guy. It's just a question of who the bad guy actually is.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot about this character I like. What's really funny is it wasn't until the very end of the game that a part of me realized that this is basically one of my main D&D characters. There were certain similarities that are really funny.
No. Oh no, there's emotional resonance.
No joke, right down to the voice.
Oh my god.
I don't know how it didn't occur to me sooner. I'm like, oh, I'm basically doing Venix's voice. This is great. You know what? No, I did know I was doing Venix's voice, but I turned up the gruff a tiny bit. So I'm like, oh, it's not exactly like him. But then there's the whole, like, reuniting with his lost love after years of being away and fighting through hell to get there. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened to my character.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm just gonna pop him up here because I think we're all gonna agree. But
yes.
Yeah. Honestly, you might as well just put him at the top.
About to say, I'm kind of leaning also
absolutely
on this side of things personally, but
yeah, this is not a controversial opinion. Samakichi was actually voted number 1 in the character popularity contest every single time that they held it for this game.
Surprising no one ever.
Yeah,
surprising no one ever.
I will say this actually does remind me of one thing that did bother me in the story. This is kind of a thing that is more a thing with Wada than Samakichi. One of the things that really frustrates me, and this happens in writing a lot, is when you have a very passive protagonist. We kind of got into this already, but it feels like a lot of stuff is happening to Wada more so than Wada's actually doing anything. And one of the biggest examples is that in the true ending, Samakichi heals her, runs off, and fixes everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that does bother me a little bit, because I really want her to have more agency.
Yeah. Kind of in that vein, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about those story notes, like, overall. There was a lot of railroading. Like, for an RPG, there wasn't a ton of, like, multiple options going on.
Yeah, that's pretty common with indie RPGs, though, because a lot of times they're kind of just using the format to tell a story. It's not a true RPG. Which, I mean, is part of what makes it fun, honestly. I think sometimes that can really work. But they do usually have multiple endings at the very least. It's one of the reasons that the way this was set up, where you have to play through the endings to get there, frustrates me, because I think a lot of the ones I know were built in Wolf RPG, which is a different system. But I'm pretty sure even RPG Maker does not have that problem of you have to play through these endings to get to the other endings. That was a deliberate choice.
Yeah, because the only other RPG Maker games that I know are Yume Nikki and Off. And Off, there's very deliberate character choice as to which ending that you unlock. Yume Nikki, I think there's really only like one ending that game has.
Yeah.
And I'm not spoiling it for you because you haven't played it yet.
It's on the list of things to stream.
Yeah.
But
oh man.
It's one of the problems that, like, also, I don't know exactly how programming multiple endings works, so maybe it is
Yeah.
more complicated than I think, but it's definitely doable. So I should clarify that anyway. Moving right along, right next to Samakichi, I had...
Oh, wait.
Boy.
I had
Oh,
some thoughts
I'm
about
sorry.
Sebi. No, you're good. Yeah, and that's one of those things where you guys were talking about Wadanohara losing just a little bit of agency in the end. I do agree. I kind of wish in the true ending, there had been an option where Wadanohara contributed to that big resolution. Because Samakichi, he goes to the other side, he closes the gate to the Sea of Death, and that eliminates the need for a cast pearl.
Yeah.
We don't really get the resolution with what happens to the denizens of the Sea of Death. And I almost wish that the writer had included an option where Wadanohara is like, I'm not giving up on these people either. And maybe like I don't know, like maybe she purified like the ones who wanted a better life. Like maybe she saved the kids, or maybe she gave, not like brought them back to life, but gave them like a peaceful death or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
but
like
that
she's
being-
healed at that point, to some degree anyway.
Yeah.
What if she went with him into the Sea of Death and fixed stuff? Like,
Yeah,
just,
that would be
just be
interesting.
there and see what happens at the very least.
Yeah, I feel like that could have been awesome. I do feel like her staying... I like the idea of her staying because then she can work to make the sea better than what it was.
That does
that
go to
would
the
have been-
duty part of things a little bit. She doesn't completely abandon it.
Yeah, that being said, you guys are talking about lack of agency. Oh boy, the manga will piss you guys off.
Oh boy.
Thank you for the warning.
Specifically
Thank you.
with
Appreciate
that
it.
in mind, yeah. And a lot of that has to do with just the fact that Wadanohara works so well as like a character that you control and move throughout the story. I feel like that factors into a lot of people's enjoyment of Wadanohara specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sadly, the manga, changes in media, but, you lose that a bit.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, Samakichi is goated. I have no notes. He is the reason I got so obsessed into the game. Sorry, I have no words.
No, he's fantastic. No notes.
He's
I
also an
think
example of
Samakichi is great. I agree with you, Samakichi.
He's also...
Yes.
Oh, I was just gonna say he's also an example of like the tsundere character trope, like gruff guy with a heart of gold, played perfectly. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
absolutely no problems.
Yeah. This is also okay. This is something. Like I get why this game is called Wadanohara and the Great Blue Sea, because Wada is the title character. She is who you like basically interact with and everything. But there is just something about how absolutely goated Samakichi is that almost makes me want to go, why wasn't this game called Samakichi in the Great Blue Sea?
Yeah. That goes to the agency thing. Like,
it goes to the agency.
if it were written from a slightly different perspective, he would be the protagonist.
Yeah, it's kind of the same problem that I have with oh god, do not ring me for this, Princess Mononoke. Because when I found out that the original name for that screenplay was The Legend of Ashitaka, I went, that makes everything make so much more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
The one it makes me think of is what's the name of it? They did a remake of Zatoichi, which is a famous samurai film series in Japan.
Ooh.
All about a blind swordsman. Like there's a couple of those movies that kick ass. They're really great. And then they did a reboot thing where they had the next generation Zatoichi being a woman. And it's a very frustrating movie because she doesn't do very much at all.
Damn it.
Like,
Damn it.
seriously, there's a guy who ends up being her love interest who does more fighting than she does. And I'm like, you're playing Zatoichi. You're the blind dude who does Iaido style and kills everybody. You're great. Like, do that.
Yeah.
Kelsey, your Mononoke comparison just blew my mind because I was just like, wait a minute. Wadanohara is Ashitaka because they are the character going from place to place and being changed by the settings and the characters around them. And that helps form their decision towards the end of the game. Samakichi is San, who's the one getting shit done.
Yeah.
I'm having more feelings now.
We're gonna give Chloe a minute so that she can have her feelings.
It's also funny. It's also funny because it makes me think of so there's this thing. Believe it or not, it came up in the Big Bang Theory, which I know is a weird thing to reference, but
yes,
they pointed out something very funny about the famous Indiana Jones movie Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
And that's that he doesn't actually do anything in the movie. If he weren't there, nothing would have been different.
Not wrong.
It's just kind of a funny thing.
Here's the thing I figured out though.
Okay.
The one loophole with that logic, and obviously it's played for jokes, but here's the big thing that people forgot when they were writing that. Marion would have died.
That's true.
True.
That is true. That is different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Nazis may have been, the Nazis still would have been killed by opening the Ark, but Marion would definitely be dead. And that is the major difference.
Yes, that's very true.
That is fair. All right. I think it's time to move on from Good Boy Samakichi to Questionable Boy Fukami.
Oh, Fukami. My beloved Kraken.
Yes.
Emotional constipation.
Just the constant.
I'm just going to temporarily put him next to Samakichi just so he feels awkward.
Hey, it'll make the Fukuwada
I'm going to put him right
happy.
behind Samakichi. So Samakichi's constantly like, What? What are you doing? What's going on back there?
He does have the face of he's right behind me, isn't he?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And Fukami would definitely be like lurking behind, and Samakichi would be like, he's behind me, isn't he?
Roger.
I gotta say, that is not the voice that I'm used to hearing with Fukami, but it has grown on me immensely.
What voice are you used to hearing? I'm very curious.
So, for context, a long time ago, I had assigned voice headcanons for all the actors. So, for Wadanohara, I was thinking Christine Marie Cabanos, who you'll know, she's been in a bunch of anime. She was most recently the voice of Morgana from Persona.
Oh, yeah.
And Sothis from Fire Emblem. Samakichi, Ian Sinclair. That needs no introduction. Fukami, I was imagining him as Micah Solusad, who is the voice of Ame in the English dub of Wolf Children. Very emotionless, very detached. Kind of got that little bit of like, ooh, he's so mysterious and kind of sexy.
So is he deep voiced? And I guess not nasal would be my guess.
The nasal was new, but I like it. And I'm not saying, let this be clear. I am not saying in any way that like I thought your performance was bad. This might be my new headcanon voice for something.
No, it's funny because I immediately read a little bit dorky off
Look at his hair! Look at his hair!
Look at his bowl cut. Look at the fact that he's wearing an oversized sweater.
What's wrong with my hair?
Yeah.
My mom cut it at home.
Look at my boy. I am so proud of him.
Mom, quit
On
it.
that
Stop.
octopi having the same voice except for Fukami.
I practice voice. What if that's not his real voice? What if his real voice is like, Mom, stop talking to me like that?
He worked so hard.
Whenever I come back home, my natural voice starts popping through.
I do think. And I kind of do think that the bowl cut kind of caters into his little bit. He's a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the idea of his nasally voice being an affect that he puts on purpose.
Perfection. It all makes sense now.
Wanda just happens to walk into the room and he's like, oh, what are you doing here?
She just goes, do you need some tea? Maybe a lozenge?
Roger.
I could use healing tone. Here, let me use healing tone. I just learned it.
I think we only used healing tone like twice in the entire game.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Our throats thanked us for it.
It's true.
Yes.
Anyway, getting to the actual character, not just roasting Fukami. I did like him. The thing I liked least about him being quiet in the background was that we were voicing all the ellipses. Other than that, I would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting how he just kind of, he felt like a little bit of like the old guy in the room who kind of is like, okay, I'm just going to let these kids figure out what they're doing and like guide gently.
Yeah. He's very much that character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely read more of like wizened old guy and being like, you guys are going to make your own mistakes. I got to let you do it. Than necessarily, like, a lot of the awkwardness came out of that too, but like,
yeah,
there definitely was something significantly older about him.
Yeah, and the fact that he was just relegated to like familiar was like, whoa, my dude, you could be a powerful entity on your own, like, and yet you're just kind of bumming along with these kids.
Yeah.
They had good benefits. They offer dental.
I get that.
Death doesn't offer dental.
Yeah.
Samakichi joke aside, I currently consider him on the low end of A.
Yeah, he's like low end of A, almost B for me. He's not he's not 100% problematic, but there is that element of like, why is this older person running around with these kids?
Yeah. I also kind of dislike the implications of, well, I kind of disliked they had him have a crush on Wadanohara. Like, that felt unnecessary.
Yeah, just a little.
He kind of felt more like a mentor figure than anything else, or like a big brother.
Very big brother, yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Wow, I think this is the first time that I've had like an opinion that's a bit different.
Okay.
So Fukami, like, I agree with his placement. I definitely think he's A tier. And I've thought about this since playing the game back in 2013. I do think that the crush on Wadanohara it kind of adds, when you dig deep into what it represents and how it could, based on the bad ending 2 specifically, seeing how that jealousy could have gotten to the point where he could have been jealous enough to kill someone over it. But the fact that he chooses willingly not to give into those feelings in every other timeline, I do think that is very interesting. I admire that he's willing to let it go.
Yeah.
It is a bit cliche. Love triangles always run the risk of being a bit cliche. I do appreciate that he doesn't really act on it, except in the bad ending.
Yeah. And that is because, Red Sea energy got him. He gets a little bit of a pass.
Yeah. And I do think, I almost kind of like that he's a little bit of a petty bitch.
Yes.
With him trying to get rid of the ocarina. It's just kind of like, oh my god, you little asshole.
Yeah. Well, he also thought that Samakichi was a traitor, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is something about him being a petty bitch that, like, maybe I don't know how much of him being a petty bitch was Ben's performance or actually in the game, but
I'm sorry, I read that as I don't know how much of it is because Ben's a petty bitch.
performance. There is a little bit of something within each of us that comes out in every performance.
In this case, you brought out the petty bitch. That big old petty bitch you got in you?
Look, if there was a character that was a petty bitch that I was assigned to play, I would tap into that part of myself too.
Probably true. I'm just picturing Kelsey being like, petty bitch says what? I'm like, what? I'm like,
Look, I'm not usually clever enough to do shit like that in the spur of the moment. It's fine.
All right. Okay. Next up,
Yes.
we got Bird Child.
Honestly, leave her in B.
Explain.
It fits.
Okay.
Explain.
Yeah. I just feel like she's not quite at the level of like Golden Starfruit yet. She has the potential to be, but she's not there yet. There's still a lot of the like really petty childishness in her, and there's a lot of the like I'm just thinking about the scene on the Rainbow Island where she said something, Lobco corrected her, and she immediately starts pelting slugs. That I'm just like, yeah, that's very little kid energy. She hasn't grown into her own yet.
She's got a little bit of bully energy too. Like, let's be
and
real.
a little bit of bully energy. So like she has a lot of character growth that she still has to go through before she can get up into A tier for me. So I love performing her. Do not get me wrong. She is a fun character to voice, but B tier for me for sure.
Yeah, I am in the same. I'm in the same boat. I would put her. I would put her on the low end of A next to Fukami, because between the three familiars that we spend most of the game with, I do think Memoka and Fukami get the most development, because you have Memoka's whole arc of her admitting they were wrong and then actively trying to be better. But it takes a long time to get to that point, and for the whole first half of the game, she's very much like, I'm just parroting what everybody else says, and I'm going to believe what everybody tells me, and not listen to the one person whose opinion matters.
Yeah.
And she does grow out of it, and a lot of it is attributed to her just being, you know, a stubborn little kid. But I agree with her placement. I would put her at the top of B tier.
I will say, one of the things that was interesting watching those videos you linked, then where we got to see the backstory, is we got to see a video where Wada and Memoka have a conversation about Samakichi. And I remember being thrown by it because it made Memoka seem a lot older.
Yeah.
It also made Memoka more sympathetic, but my ranking for leaving here in B is I am leaving out that bonus content stuff because that was not put in the base game.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. All of that extra character growth was not put in the base game, even though it really should have been, and it was left out for some godforsaken reason.
It's funny because it makes her more problematic for me, actually, because it has the problem of she has this level of maturity to her and she still acts like this.
Oh.
For me, that scene actually, I'm the opposite. It kind of makes it feel like she's very ride or die. Like,
yes.
Because for all we know, we don't really know a lot about Memoka's backstory. Like, again, this is not factoring into my ranking of her. I guess in some live streams, Memoka used to be a postman and worked with Nekoyama. Which is why she's but again, that's not in the base game, so I have to discount that.
Fair.
But yeah, just the whole mentality of like knowing how close Wadanohara and Samakichi were, and being like, I care very deeply about my friend, and I know how much this hurts her. That kind of makes her pigheadedness a little more tolerable.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But again, that's all bonus content from the reboot. That's not base game. So I'm fine leaving her at the top of B tier.
Cool.
Yeah.
Next up, I'm so happy that this came with that face for Dolphy.
Yes. I honestly would put her in C the Vision, because we didn't get a ton of character development with her, and what we did get, she just seemed very mousy and quiet, and like I feel like the most like significant things about her character are in the combat of the game, which, given that this game kind of downplays combat, is a problem.
Yeah. Honestly, she wasn't that useful in combat because I mostly ended up using stuff that was multi-hit, and she only got that at the very end.
That's true. All of her attacks only hit like one enemy at a time, and like towards the game.
Oh, it opened in the wrong window. Anyway, I was going to bring this up. So, yeah, Chloe will just link this to me. This is what they all looked like when they got older, and I kind of love it.
Yep, with the little glow up of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super. Also, it makes my shipping heart happy. Memoka and Dolphy both have each other's colors in their clothes.
Cute.
That is pretty cute. I also, for some reason, I know he originally had it from backstory stuff. It's so funny to me that Fukami has long hair now.
Oh my god, Fukami's glow up needs to be studied.
Yeah. Now I believe him being like, Roger.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, I had to take a drink.
Chloe's over it.
all those all those ellipses now become
Yes.
He kind of sounds like the Old Spice guy.
Yes. Yes.
Look at your shark. Now look at me. Now look at your shark. He is not me, but he could be like me.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
But yeah, back to Dolphy.
All right, let me get that out.
There we go.
Yep. Ben, what are your thoughts on Dolphy?
Honestly, pretty similar. I feel like we didn't get a lot of her character because, she was also quiet most of the time. But, yeah, it's. I feel like we didn't get a lot with Memoka and Dolphy in pretty similar ways. And we only got more with Memoka because she actually talked.
Because she actually what?
You cut out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Memoka talked a lot. Dolphy did not.
So
I think... Oh, I'm sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think I'm good with C. How do we feel about how she ranks compared to the Blue Sea Witch?
I was going to say, I put her high C tier. Because for me, like, I see the vision. You can kind of tell that the writer wanted her to go through the arc of Scaredy Cat becomes stronger. Yeah. Because at the beginning of the game, she's very much, like, afraid of everything, and she's crying at the drop of the hat. By the time you get to the Tosusa Kingdom invasion, she's with Fukami on the front lines, protecting the town. And that, I wish we had more of that. And I do think that would have been an interesting layer to the fetch quests, where you have to go around and, like, fix the moonstones. If they had worked in a little more character development for each familiar, I could have believed that character arc much more strongly. As is, I see the vision, but she's still, she's just a cute little being, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we need a little more substance.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along.
Yeah, the moonstone portion was the part that felt the most railroaded to me, gameplay wise.
Yeah.